Oh man.
Drew, Joe,
And Jamie.
Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate you doing this.
I'll wait till we start because I'm going to say thank you. I want to say thank you on camera.
What? Oh, man. Now I'm getting more nervous.
Nothing. You just don't turn it off. Nothing. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off. Nothing.
What's up, everybody? We have the privilege of interviewing Tony Gilroy. This is really, really amazing, and I'm really nervous right now, but I'm gonna try not to show it. Tony, appreciate you being here today.
Man, it's my pleasure. I just want to say thank you. I mean, somebody flipped me, the reaction. I think it was on 10, and they said, "Man, you got to see this." And a lot of stuff has come at me all fall long. And I've seen every now and then I look at stuff and seen reactions with it. But man, it was just so like affirming and great, and you just got everything that we were doing. And then I went back and it's really and I sent it off to the publicist, and I said, "Man, you got to see this." And she goes, "Would you go on there?" And I go, "Well, what the fuck? Yeah, man, why not?" I've never done anything like that. Have they ever done anything like that? She goes, "I don't even know who they are." So I said, "All right." So anyway, it's just so thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, Rogue One was, and I say this all the time, Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars film out of all of them. And I've always said that. And bringing this character back, right when I heard about it, I was already excited because Rogue One did something that the other Star Wars films didn't do. So I knew the show would also. But watching it, it felt different, and it hit us different than any other Star Wars show or anything ever, as you can see. Like it's more grounded, and it really like gut punched us because it's so raw, gritty, and real. That's why
the drama and the episodes that made you like your episodes made us think, and then you had episodes that just made us cry. And a lot of times while doing the reactions, we had to get ourselves together after the show went off.
Like, listen, episode 10, after we were done, we had to walk away for a little bit.
We ain't talk for like a day. We didn't talk for like a whole day because of you.
Oh, man. Oh, like, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate what you did, because bringing these characters back, it's exciting to watch. Like, season 1 is one of the most stressful experiences I've ever had watching television.
Right before I came on here, I did a podcast with the Writers Guild from the union,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and part of it's instructional and whatever, but also we got nominated for some awards. So you're sort of like, oh, we'll do the podcast. You're campaigning for votes a little bit. But I've done a bunch. The guy who interviewed me, I've known him for a long, long time, and he said, "So what's like different about the audience reaction or whatever?" And and I could address the issue because the people that are all listening there in the Writers Guild, so they're all writers. I go, everybody who's listening on this thing, I go, you basically spend your life in a room. The room that I'm in right now, where I'm right now, that backdrop is the backdrop that 800 people in Pinewood mostly know me by. I mean, and this is the room I've been in this house for 20 years. I have another office, but this room, most writers, you sit in a room your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing this for almost 40 years at this point. And you write and you write and you write and you write. Every now and then they let you out of the house. If you become a director, you get out. You become a director, right? You get out of the house.
Yeah.
And I've gone all over the world and done some really cool things, but mostly you're in a room or you're in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right? You're in a hotel room writing. And then, I'm looking at shelves of scripts that were never produced. And, probably most writers think most of their best stuff never gets made. So, a lot of the time that you spend in the room is useless. But I'm talking about year after year after year after day after day. You keep yourself there, like struggling away with a whole bunch of different ways. I'm angry, I'm jealous, I need money, I got to pay the rent, I hate what they did, whatever the reason, I'm going to party and write or whatever. But man, one of the main things you do is you fantasize about what the audience is like.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you fantasize about the fact that people are going to connect with what you do, and so I can't. I was thinking this afternoon about what, like, you're giving me something that, like, and it just gives me something that you've sort of been craving your whole life. Like you're watching someone who can't breathe because of something that you did. It's
and that was you did it.
It's a really powerful thing, and it's not a typical. I guess it's a new experience, and probably there'll be more of it. But it's brand new to me, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like we watch a lot of shows because that's what
I know you do.
We watch a lot of shows.
Oh my God!
And
you're really busy.
Well, I spend all my life here too, but in a whole different way. But it's like shows that are we're not hard to please, but really getting invested in the show, it takes a lot, because especially since we watch so much, and like right from the beginning, the tone was set about what this story would be, and how like one thing I really appreciate is how different it feels from anything Star Wars we've ever seen, and that's probably hard to do now, but it like right from the beginning, you could see how serious it was, and the characters, and man, I'm telling you, we watched the first three because the first two were released at the same time. We watched the first three straight through, and like we were almost in disbelief. I'm like, we've never seen anything like this in a Star Wars setting. So that already got us excited for the rest of the show. And man, I don't know how you were able to pull this off, because like every episode had like this tension that would wind up and wind up and wind up, and you're full of so much anxiety you almost can't breathe watching these episodes. And man, I don't know how y'all pulled that off, but like every episode we're like here not breathing, and then when things ramp up, it just never stops. It goes up and up and up and up, and good Lord, that was stressful.
Now that's the good thing about your show. So the first night that we watched your show, the first three episodes, so we sat here and we watched all three in the same night. Mind you, when we first watched the first episode, I was dealing with allergies at the moment. Like I was breaking out in hives and all that. But while breaking out in hives, the show got so good, I was like, you know what, the hives can wait. We're going to finish this. I can stop scratching for about an hour.
But it's just,
so I can sell. It's a medicinal. There's a medicinal factor to the show. There is. Like we're living proof of that. I get an infomercial going now.
Like watch this show, you won't itch. That's how.
They walk again. I'll heal the lame. Exactly.
You know what? Like I think if you were to say that, somebody would believe it, because the way people talk about this show. Like I went to Japan, in October last year for the first time. I met somebody in Japan that I've never met, and we talked about Andor for an hour. We talked about it for an hour, and we were just gushing about it. And I was just so excited just to talk about this show. So being able to do this is real big. So we're gonna ask some questions. We're not gonna get into any spoilers. We're gonna avoid spoilers, but
I don't care, man. Ask what you want. That's my
guy. That's what I'm talking about.
If I don't want to answer, believe me, I'm really good at pushing questions.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. Sorry, so I wrote them down so I don't screw this up. Now, the first one is about, and this is actually really big, about the intros, because each episode had like a unique intro, and there's somebody on YouTube that like combined all of them where they all like came together. Was that intentional? Like, was that the game plan?
Yeah, we had a lot of debate in the beginning, because as we're finishing the show, it's like, okay, now we have to do what's our title sequence going to be like? And what we're going to do at the top, and there's this whole you've seen everything, so I mean, there's a whole tradition of these really elaborate title sequences now. Some of them the one on Homeland I thought was amazing. I love the one that was on Homeland, and the ones I'm trying to remember. I mean, obviously Game of Thrones would always sort of tell you what was going to happen in the show by showing you. What's on? I saw one the other night, Bad Sisters. I don't know if you've seen that, but they had this elaborate sort of like pachinko machine thing. But it's a whole tradition of that. And we're like, okay. And that's if you put your credits at the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm willing to put my credit at the back, then everybody else has to follow suit. There's always a there's always a big debate on movies and whatever. If you want to use tail credits, whoever, you know, if Harrison Ford or Scorsese doesn't want to put his name at the end, then everybody has to go. But someone determines who goes at the end. I don't like top credits that much, and we were like, and Zana Wallenberg, who's my producer, she was like, you know, I think this is a tired thing now. We could invent a whole elaborate thing and spend a lot of money on it, but she goes, I think it's tired. I think we should just go we should go clean and do all tail credits. Okay, so then we started to come up with this, what our little 38-second, 40-second thing would be, and Nick Britell, who does all the music, he and I started to work, and he'd come up with a theme that we really dug. And when he and I really got in and started working, it was like, you know, we don't have anything else unusual happening in these 40 seconds at the top. Why don't you just do a different orchestration to the theme every week? And you know, we'll make something out of it. And that it's a little bit of work, but it's mostly fun. That for him, that's really fun because he knows the music and
boy, it stood out.
Doing it, it's like, oh my God, this is so great. And then we're like, oh my God, when we get to 12, we can actually have the band play. And
yeah,
and they're all, you know, it's like, it became a really cool, it's just a little nice little, and we're like, will anybody pay attention? And people do pay attention. You know, they do. So yeah, it's a thing. It's very much a thing. And it's very much, yeah. Yeah,
I got to shout out the music too, because I've been playing the score on Spotify ever since the show wrapped. The score is genius.
You know what? I worked on I work with Nick. I mean, there isn't one molecule of that I wasn't with him all the way through. But we went to do another podcast for something that he was doing last week, and I hadn't heard the music in a while, and there were all these questions I was going to ask. How did you work together? And I went out. I took a long walk in the park, and I put it on Spotify. Man, the mix is on. I had never heard it mixed like that. It's beautiful on Spotify. It's really great.
It's so good.
It's really cool. No, I know. Yeah.
And I'm glad like they put the whole score up there so you can just binge it. It's like it's just, I don't know, something. Even the music feels different. Like it's.
He remixed it for the soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
We're so proud of that, and he's so proud of it, and he should be. It's 7 hours of music. He's so proud. I went through and named every cut. That took like 3 days. If you look at the names, somebody worked on it. But he also spent like 3 weeks mixing it all, remixed it for that. So it's he's really proud of it. We're very proud of the music. Yes.
So good.
Look, the score and the music it's much appreciated because we've been watching movies, TV shows, we watch a lot of entertainment, and we always talk about how the music can involve you more in whatever you watch. We always say that. So what you guys have done with this show, music-wise itself, it's way more appreciated than what you probably even thought people would appreciate it. It brings you into it. It gives you that hype. It gives you that feel. It's like you're preparing for war before your episode starts and when it ends. So for you guys to actually invest your time into musical detail, like, thank you.
And even the title sequence is stressful.
Too far, man. We went way too far. We had no as we said on this thing the other night, it's like a combination of being naive and arrogant. You know, we both thought I thought, man, I know everything there. I know I scored a bunch of movies. I was a musician before, so I did movies with James Newton Howard and then with Michael Giacchino on Rogue, and I'm like, man, I really know how to do this. And and Nick, I really know how to do this. And we went in and we like, oh my God, we got into it. It's like, oh my God, we have 12 hours of show to do. We just got our ass kicked so bad. And we realized what we were into. And then I don't know. I mean, this is kind of inside baseball, but like, I'd only ever scored movies, and it's a very, very different thing to score this. Scenes are a little bit longer, many characters. I mean, what's a good example? Like how you spot. I don't know if if you watch something, you watch how the music starts. Where's the music start? So I have a scene going on. Am I going to start the music at the top? Am I going to start it when you tell her you're leaving? You're leaving her. Do I leave it at the moment when she runs out to the garage? When does the music start? in this show, everything that both Nick and I knew about spotting wasn't really useful anymore. We would have a really good scene and we would put a really good piece of music against it, and it would kind of like just sit there and the scene would become generic. And then we would push the score back and spot later, and it got better. And if you notice, if you ever watch the show again, or how late we spot, how late we start, how late the music comes in is like, that's just one example of like, we really went in like we were, NBA All-Stars, and like we got to like, oh my God, we had to learn a whole bunch of things over again.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Man, well then that tells me I got to watch the show again. Just look at something different. Like I needed another reason.
I mean, just even farther, because like which character I never really thought I scored a whole bunch of movies, and I never really thought before about the character that starts the music almost gets a torch. It's like a bunch of different characters in the scene. It's like, man, if he start the cue here, if we spot here, it's his music. If we spot it here, it's her music. It's really anyway. That's just one of like 100 different things that I learned along the way that I thought I already was an expert on. So I was like, it was a humbler. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting to hear because like it seemed like I'm a little naive because I don't know how things work. Like it seems like one of those things where you got a game plan, you just go in there and you just execute, everything is just perfect. Like I didn't think there was any kind of trials or tribulations or anything. So hearing that is kind of that's kind of wild to me because it looks like y'all just went in there, you knew what to do, and you just went in and everything just fell into place
like an NBA All-Star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but all right, I know you're making movies. I saw one of the movies. I kind of dug it. I dug the friendship movie. I just watched that.
Oh, nice. That was a long time ago too. Appreciate that. Wow. Okay.
I saw that, and I'm like, but here's the thing: movie making it's like when you're finished the show, whatever it is, you get to the end and then everybody looks at each other and go, oh, now we know how to do it. It's when you get done that you go, oh, now I know how to do it. You never get to do it again.
Yeah.
It's never the same exact thing again, but it's like, wow, that's how you do it. Every one of them is an educational experience. Man, I'm 66 years old. I've been doing this forever. I mean, all I do is keep learning on this thing. It keeps teaching me how stupid I am.
All right. So, next question. I'm going to read these because this is long. When this show was announced, there wasn't much hype about the show, even amongst hardcore Star Wars fans. But the show ended up being one of the best Star Wars shows out there right now. Did you expect it to have that kind of critical reception?
No, man. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. I came on the show and I was we put a little mini writer's room together with some heavy, my brother and Bo, some really great writers. And I brought I got a big pile of meat and put it on the table, and we got it sort of in shape. And then I had my first 3 episodes written, sort of. And I went to London and I was going to direct the first 3 episodes. So I went to London in like January. And I was going to start shooting in July. So I was setting up the whole show and doing all this stuff and arguing with Disney about money and casting and all this shit. And COVID hit. And I got the last flight out of London back home on the 15th. Man, it was like, it was like the zombie movie, man, coming home. Jeez. And then everything was shut down and everything changed. And then, are we going to make the show at all? Or can anybody ever make a show again? Will everybody die? Right? Whatever, right? And then, like, around July, they're like, we want to think about November. Well, I said, I'm not going back to England. I'm not going to die for the show.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Very dangerous at that time.
And but they were like, oh, we're gonna get British. I said, well, we'll get other directors and we'll get British directors and they can die. No, we'll get other directors.
Well, they can go. Not you.
but like, and then they like, we'll work out these protocols and like all this. You remember how it was, and all this stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And I just started rewriting everything. I rewrote all my shit. I rewrote all the stuff that the other. And I just started writing and running the show from this room. And it's great. But no, most of the time along the way, I felt good about what we did every day. you feel good about, oh my God, I feel good about what happened here. I feel good about this scene. I like that actor. I like this moment. I like this thing. But, at 4 o'clock in the morning, you wake up going, what the fuck did I do with my life? I'm about to go to, and this is the worst decision I've ever made. And I had a really good life before this and I ruined it. And why am I?
Oh man.
I mean, there's a tremendous amount of, there's a tremendous amount of doubt along the way. It really wasn't until we finally put a lot of things together. We got through the spring and into the prison, and we were like, other shows were coming together. We were watching some of the episodes come together. And it really wasn't until about, we almost till we finished shooting that my brother works with me. He's been my editor. He's edited all my films and my brother Danny's movies.
Nice.
Oh wow. I didn't
Johnny lives in England. And Johnny was like, dude, this is coming together. And then I started to believe it might've been worth it. But no, I mean, everybody should know. I mean, people that are starting or trying to do stuff, I mean, the amount of doubt, you can't do this if you're not willing to live with a lot of doubt.
Right.
You gotta live with a lot of 4 o'clock in the morning. What have I done? What am I doing?
What just happened?
Why did I say that? Why did I let them do that? Why did I agree to that? Oh my God. It's so you go back and forth between being overconfident and suicidal.
That's just real.
That's real. Like, look. 4 a.m. Like, what the hell?
Waking up in cold sweats. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is going on?
And you guys are young. Wait till 4 o'clock hits you in about 15 years, man, because it's a whole different story.
I think it hits his nail sometimes.
And you're gonna die. Then it hits you.
I don't know. Something about hearing this side of it is kind of, I don't know, like, because we have one mindset when watching the show, but then hearing that I guess you're more human and not a superhero, like that's kind of it's good to hear, because like for anybody that's trying to get into doing anything, like whether you want to write or direct or act or whatever like that, hearing that you still go through that, it definitely helps.
It's like that humble comment.
Yeah.
That you need to hear, because when we watched the show, it's like, this is perfection. They knew what they were doing the whole time. They had no troubles. They just jumped in and everything was fine. But to hear you say what you're saying now,
yeah.
But like, it's like any job. You mean, and everybody, I mean, the people that you love, whether they're the guy who came to fix the dishwasher or it's the lead actor in your show or whatever, the people that you love are the people that make it look easy, right? Look easy. Well, but behind that and around that and to that, it ain't easy.
And we know something about being uncomfortable while doing what you love, because me and him, we were sick 3 weeks ago while filming, and we made it through. So not every experience is perfect.
Yeah.
How do you guys go in and do one every day? You must, right?
We tried to.
Yeah.
Multiples.
Where are you? Are you in Philly? Where are you?
Yeah, we're in Philly.
Yeah, it is. I went through man. What episode are you on? 15,000? What are you on?
we try to stay busy. I mean, luckily now we have an editor. Shout out to Struggle Drax. He's over. We film something. We ship it off to him, and he does the edits. And he loved doing the Andor reactions, and he would go like above and beyond. He would make like a custom intro and all that. So that it definitely helps.
This all you do? Do you make a living from this?
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
It's like,
what's next? What are you going to do next? What is you must have a plan. You guys are too busy to not have a plan.
Oh yeah. I mean, we want to get back into like making short films and eventually a feature length movie. Later on down the road, like there's a goal we're trying to get to, and just taking it one step at a time. We're just kind of just building and growing and seeing what we can do. And that's why like this whole interview is kind of like mind blowing for me. Just the fact, like, I'm just thinking about you actually saw the video that we made is kind of wild to me. Like, I'm still trying to adjust to that.
That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
He said that the fact that you watched it. Okay, so this is how it is for us. We love going to the movie theaters. We love seeing great films. So for us to actually speak to you, you're a humble guy. You're a really good person. We can tell right now. But for us to be able to talk to you right now,
yeah,
like a friend, it has us in this position where it's kind of like, is this really happening? Like while it's happening, I'm pretty sure the three of us are saying, is this really happening?
It's one thing to gush about a show to each other, but to be able to gush to the show about the show to the person that made it is a whole different experience to me. Like I just want you to know that we love this show like a lot. A lot.
And we spoke about it before we watched the show. We always talk about what we're about to watch. We all have different things that we like and that we don't like. So I always tell these guys, I am not the type of person who really, I have never really been into watching prequels. It's never been my thing. But when I watched this show, it just put me into a different zone. And I just want to say thank you personally for introducing me to
I'm gonna tell you right now, we can stop with this because I was there when I got on the call, man. I've seen it, so I don't need. You don't have to tell me that you like it anymore. I watched you, man. You were all in. That's why I called it. So that's why I'm here. So we can skip that. You're just wasting time.
All right, let me get rid of the one paragraph of gushing. Yeah. All right.
Hero gush, man. We're over. We're post gush at this point.
All right, so she had a question about Andy Serkis.
I did.
I'll let her ask it. You can choose whether you want to answer it or not.
I'm a huge fan of Andy Serkis ever since Lord of the Rings when he was introduced. I'm sure he's played something before that. I'm not sure, but so I wanted to know what was the idea of casting him, and also the role of Kino in the show.
We knew, we had the big part there. We knew what was coming. So we knew that we knew that you kind of got to drop a gear at that point, episode 8, right? You got to drop a gear now. We've been through Aldani. We did this little thing and we had this great part. So we had it budgeted. We could really get somebody really cool to come in. So I thought I knew Andy from Lord of the Rings. And then I saw, he did the Planet of the Apes stuff. The thing that blew my mind was in Panther, he was so freaking angry.
Yeah.
Wow. So charismatic. I was like, I don't know, Andy. And I talked to him and, it's a long way out. So it's like, oh, well, maybe it'd be great. Am I available? He was directing Venom. And I just chased him, man. A lot of my job is chasing people and seducing, lying to them and everything else, trying to get people to join the train. Yeah. And he came on. I'll tell you what he does for the show. It's beyond all his charisma and his power and everything else, that character, the rest of the show, a lot of the show is political in many ways, all kinds of politics and all kinds of, issues about politics. But for me, that sequence was always theological. That was always religious. And there was nothing really religious in the show, really. And the idea of a guy who had faith. I mean, his God is that number in his box. I believe in that number, 141. I believe in it. And if I believe in the number, so the prison's populated by, true believers. And then you have Melshi, who's an atheist, essentially, right? And then you have other people who are agnostic trying to figure it out. But for me, that was all about faith. And it's really to watch somebody overnight lose their faith. There is no God, the fucking number's a lie.
Yeah.
And so it's not political. It's set in a political context of a prison and all the rest of oppression of all that shit. But for me, that was a really and Andy, he got with that idea right from the beginning. And the idea that he was really, his whole identity is tied into this faith.
Yeah.
If I have faith, if I do the right thing, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of this. And sorry, not happening.
Man, it's really crazy because like that moment you talked about, you could when he has that realization, you see that whole moment in his face. Like you see the gears turning and him realizing that what he thought isn't really how it is. You see that whole moment in his face, and you know what he's thinking versus what he's saying. Like you can see everything there. And that's what makes that moment so powerful. Like he's such a good actor. He doesn't really have to say anything. You can see it all in his face.
He's amazing, and he's just so he's a shot caller. I knew he was a shot caller. He's a shot caller.
That's how he was in the show. Shot caller. That speech. Oh my gosh, that speech.
That
speech.
Man.
Did you write that speech?
He's afraid to give the speech. He has stage fright. It's great.
It's like the how impactful that was, and how you see like him be nervous, and then just get more and more confident as it goes, and Andor's words come back around to it, and it's just it comes full circle and all the way to the end where you're not sure if he made it or not. Like, you don't really know. And I think one of the best things is like, you don't tell us. It's just like, there's there and it cuts and you don't know. You have no idea. It's like, did he hop on somebody's back? Did he stay? Did he die? Like, you really don't know. And I think that's one of the strengths of the show is like, you don't tell. It's like, you have to figure it out.
That kind of stressed me out. Not knowing if he
finally
jumped or not, it stressed me out for a week straight. So thank you very much for that. Like,
it's a stressful show. It's like, when I keep saying it's one of those shows you can't binge. So you have to watch one at a time. Because if you watch multiple, you need an oxygen tank or something. Because I can't.
I think the next time you have hives, you could just put on episode 10.
You're right. You ain't lying about that, because that was, like you said, that was medicinal. I have never been able to sit down with hives and not panic. Like, literally.
That makes me scared about season 2. I'm like, what the hell are y'all gonna do now? I did want to add this because Drax is in India and he wanted you to know this. He says, out here in India, we don't really care much about Star Wars. There's not enough of a fan base for the movies. But the way people out here love Andor is crazy. We have a special place here where they hang their favorite movies, the shows, and posters. And Andor is the only Star Wars poster that's on the wall. Not even Mandalorian made it. So we wanted you to know that.
Wow. And where do they watch it? So Disney Plus is in India? They have it there? Or do they bootleg it, or what do they do?
I think it's on Hulu there, because I don't think Disney Plus is in India, but I know Disney owns Hulu, so I think it's on Hulu there, something like that.
All right, that's interesting.
So about Seek, I know you're working on season 2 now. Is you can answer this if you want. Is there a date that it'll be out or no?
Well, we're on the same schedule that we were before. It's exact. So we started shooting in November, so we're on the same schedule we were before. So we finished last time shooting in August. So we're shooting now. We shoot all the way through August.
Okay.
And then it takes a year for us to finish it. So we won't finish it till the following June or July. It won't be done.
Right.
It takes a year to do all the visual effects and the color correction and the music and the mixing and everything else. So I don't know. That is the schedule we were on before.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can't accelerate the shooting.
Right.
You could throw money at the post if they wanted it to come in some months sooner. They could, but studios get very superstitious about dates. It's like, oh, this was the Bourne date. You're going like, really? Like August? It's like, yeah, the audience doesn't know that.
Great movie.
But they have a feeling that people do or something. So I have a feeling it'll be on the same thing, but 2 years later. So
okay. All right. Of course, no rush, because perfection takes time. So we're very patient people. One thing I did want to ask.
You guys will be filmmakers. By the time the show comes out, you won't be doing this anymore.
You'll
be making a show for somebody else, and you won't want to do this anymore.
No, we'll make an exception for this show. We'll still say like, let's pause the movie and let's watch this right now.
All right.
I think that so when I watch, like, when watching episodes that get so deep, I wanted to ask you personally, like, does it become stressful? And does it become stressful per episode when you can't get certain things right? Because to me, when a TV show has this much detail in each episode, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of reshoots. And I always wanted to ask a director this question: like, does it become stressful when things don't go according to plan as far as timing?
We have a different, I think. And look, I've only done, made movies. I haven't really done any television before, but there's a lot of different ways to do this. And the way we do it is, people ask me, like, who's your writer on set? Well, I don't have a writer on set. We get everything just dead on perfect. And we talk and talk and talk and meet and fix and get everything absolutely perfect, so that on the day when people show up, tomorrow morning when they show up, they know exactly what they're doing. We've vetted everything about it. And that also means I'm not there. I'm not sitting over the director's shoulder, because the directors need autonomy as well, so that they can swing away and be free. Yeah. Otherwise, you have shows where there's, having me lurk around and I'm a director, and like, who wants that? So we get everything together beforehand just perfect. Now, we had probably 3 or 4 scenes over the course of the 12 shows that we stumbled in some way or another and went back and reshot, but literally like 4 scenes. But I would say the proudest thing of the show, in a way, we did not, over 600 pages of show, there isn't anything that we shot that we didn't use. Every single scene is in the show. We don't have any cutting on the floor. We ate the whole cow. I mean, the hooves and the tail and everything. It's a very precise show in that way, but at the same time, you want to make it precise so that people can swing, when they get on the. And I do it. I mean, mostly I do it from here. I'm going to go to London on Sunday, and I'll be there for 2 weeks. There's 3 directors on at Pinewood right now. There's one that's shooting, there's one that's prepping to shoot, and there's one that's in deep prep to start. And so they're all 3 there. So I'll go there for a couple weeks and do stuff. But and I'll get a lot done, and a lot of it will be super valuable, and some of it's personal and whatever. But I'll also, a lot of it's easier to do here, to be honest with you, because I don't waste any time. I'm never in a car. I don't have to remember everybody's name. I don't have to walk around and do. I can just basically just go from meeting to meeting to meeting, and I can do this, which I'm doing all day, and that's how we do it. So that's everybody has a different way. All these every show has a different birthing system and a different delivery system, and that's just the one that we evolved into, and that's how we'll finish. Are there going to be any characters from Rogue One that are going to be in season 2? You got Melchi's in already. Saw Gerrera's in already. But look, there's no secret. The last scene of the show is walking you into the first scene of Rogue. The last scene takes you into the beginning of Rogue. I mean, he's going to be walking onto the U-wing to go to the Rings of Catherine to go meet what's his name, Tevik. That's the last scene of the show. That's where we finish. So, yeah, I got to have some people there. Yeah, my God, yeah. I think that's gonna be trippy, having it lead right into Rogue One, because I've rewatched Rogue One before the show, and I've rewatched it again a couple days ago. Having the show like lead directly into that, I think that's gonna be. I can't wait to see how that's done, because I'm really looking forward to that. I have not done what you've done. I have not watched Rogue since. I'm afraid to watch it because I don't know. But I can imagine some of the things that it does. I'll say this. This is the last thing I'll say, is that we were mixing and fixing and finaling this whole first season while we were developing what we're going to do in the second half. So I'm covering 4 years. This second half is going to cover 4 years, right? So it's going to be 4 years. Each block of 3 episodes is going to be a year apart. Okay. So I'm carrying about 30 characters over, and while we're mixing and doing all the editing and all the stuff we're doing on the final episodes, I now know what's going to happen to all these people, right? And I have to say, it really it changed it for me. It's like, oh my God, she doesn't know what's going to happen, and he doesn't know what's going to happen, and they don't know what's going to be, so. But I haven't dared to watch Rogue. I'm afraid to watch it to see if I had made some horrible mistake or something. But we'll see. I think this show it makes Rogue hit different, because even things like the post-credit scene of season 1, like, oh my God, that right there. When they showed, like when you see it and the realization hits, like, oh Jesus, that's the thing. That's what they were helping to build. And then you watch Rogue One again, you're like, oh my God, it's like, I feel like it's such a companion piece to Rogue One. Like I don't know. I don't think we're violating it all, but how it impacts on it, I'm nervous to watch it. I'm not sure I'll do that, but we'll see.
Man, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I'll just say this, man. I mean, I've never done anything like this. I've never, and when I saw the thing, I just was really, like I said before, it was just really like tremendously affirmative thing to watch somebody. I don't know what the analog is. What's the comp to that? I mean, watching somebody, just fucking groove out on something that you sat there and made as opposed to like hearing about it or reading it in a
Right.
review. But God, there it is, and they really get it. So I'm really happy I did this. I was nervous about it today. I was like, I don't know what this is gonna be like, but I really I'm blown away by the amount of work that you do. I went on the thing, and you're obviously really serious people, man. I just keep reaching, man. Keep reaching, please.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 'Cause I was a little nervous going into because we've never done anything on this level. So I'm like, oh,
I know,
Jesus,
I know.
am I gonna be stuttering? Like, I don't know. But yeah, this,
No. Well, good. We've been nervous together.
yeah.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciate this, and I know you're a busy man. So thank you for taking time away from what you're working on to do this. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. All
Very
right.
nice to
Thank
meet you.
Very nice.
Very nice
good.
to meet you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Take it easy.
care.
Realize what you set in motion. People will suffer.
Time has come to force their hand.
At what cost?
Everything.
Damn.
Every day we wait,
This fucking month.
they get stronger.
This month?
Let's take them by surprise.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
People are standing up. They're afraid. Right now, they're afraid.
Star Wars Andor,
Shit.
3-episode premiere, streaming September 21st.
Damn, they gonna drop three at the same time?